hold on. It's been a while. I want to do it. I am the social pariah turned messiah. I am the misfit that doesn't know when to quit. I am the man without a plan. And in case you haven't heard, I always, and I mean always, have the last word. What's up, everybody? This damn chair. It's been a while. I kind of skipped a couple pay-per-views, and if you watch the pay-per-views, then yeah, you can probably understand why. We are now on the road to WrestleMania, officially a week away on Sunday, April 8th. I am recording this here on the Friday before Easter, so Good Friday if you're Christian, or non-Orthodox Christian, because yours is next week. So, happy Easter to everybody, happy Passover, and any other holiday I'm not thinking of, because I don't want to leave anybody out. But hey, I figured I would do a video. It's been a little bit. WrestleMania is kind of important to me because it's a year ago at WrestleMania is when I launched this YouTube channel. And it's been a rocky start. I've had some ups and downs. Changed the overall name of the channel. And going into post-WrestleMania this year, I'm going to be expanding the reach of the channel. Going to be doing some gaming-oriented stuff because it's another passion of mine, as well as just some broader sports. But I'm not going to drop wrestling, because wrestling is why I wanted to go on YouTube in the first place. In fact, for those of you that are in the know and follow me on Twitter at thelastword2016, though I may change that to be Chocobo Chokeslam to fit the channel, just easier to follow. I host a radio show at my university radio station, so it's an actual real radio station. It's just because it's a university radio station, it doesn't have a super far reach, so we kind of push the online component more. But it's WSIN, so WSINradio.org. Yeah, I know. It's my state is Southern Connecticut, or University of Southern Connecticut State. So it's Southern Independent Network Radio. But I do a radio show every Thursday, and I'm not here to plug that. I am going to talk wrestling today. But I'm doing a WrestleMania preview, spectacular type show here this coming Thursday on April 5th. With a gentleman named Gerald, who did the one that's on this channel. I did back in the fall. We just talked wrestling for an hour, so we're going to do that again, because why not? So wrestling is always a passion and first love of mine, obviously, but hey, we're in WrestleMania season, so awesome. WWE has kind of picked up steam a bit. I'd be honest, I stopped watching Smackdown for a couple months because it just became god-awful and unwatchable. And Raw, and let's just get this out of the way because we're going to talk about it, so I might as well just rip that Band-Aid off. Raw's been frustrating because we all knew for the last year that it was going to be Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal title. I don't like it. Most of you don't like it. I'm not as big of a hater on Roman Reigns as a lot of others are. Those that think he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, you're entitled to your opinion, but the dude has no charisma and has an even more limited moveset than John Cena and Hulk Hogan. So I'm like, I don't get the mass appeal. Obviously, the WWE audience doesn't get the mass appeal because their ratings have been in the toilet. So Raw's been frustrating. But enough awesome has been going on both Raw and SmackDown lately. And we got a lot to talk about. I'm going to try to keep this video short. I'm going to give kind of like a breakdown of the matches confirmed so far. Obviously, we know it's going to be Cena and Undertaker at WrestleMania. The match has not been confirmed yet. Obviously, they're going to have Undertaker come out this Monday on the Go Home show and surprise Cena. And for the love of God, Taker needs to win a Mania match. Getting beat by Roman last year in a match I defended, and it's the only one I've gotten thumbs down on because my very first set of videos were reaction videos to each and every match at Mania. And it's the only one I got thumbs down on are people that were mad that I actually praised Roman in that match. So I think that's hilarious. But yeah, so that's been kind of like, I've not been in the mood for Raw because of that, but it's going to be a good match. Brock's pretty much gone, which is good, because we need a full-timer with their main belt. Although their main belt should be the one that's on SmackDown because it's the WWE Championship. But Raw's their A brand, so whatever belts are on Raw are always going to be your main belts. But let's talk a little bit here first about the last two pay-per-views. Elimination Chamber, I'll just be straight up honest, why I didn't do a full-on video. outside of the 2 chamber matches, that pay-per-view sucked. It just sucked hardcore. If you like the other matches, which I can't remember half of them now, even though I took detailed notes, that tells you just how not memorable they were. The Smackdown pay-per-view was much better, but the bar was low, so it didn't take much. But the Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy match that they had then was just kind of okay. The Asuka match was rushed. Ronda, see, I'm doing it too. Ronda Rousey looked like she wasn't ready to be on TV or on pay-per-view. I mean, come on, at Royal Rumble, all she did was come out and point. Okay, you can point. Can you talk? And even so far, I'm a little nervous going into Mania with her stuff. Because we know she could fight. She was a hell of a UFC fighter until they figured out she has a glass jaw. And I'm not knocking her because, much like Brock Lesnar, Ronda can beat the living hell out of me without even trying. And I like her as a person. She's a World of Warcraft fan like I am. She's obviously a wrestling fan. That chick is cool. I like her. I just don't think she's ready. Maybe she'll prove me wrong. Maybe she'll show up at Mania and put on a hell of a match. But all we've seen is botched promos and a lot of pointing and a couple suplexes. And again, that works for Roman Reigns. So who knows? But her segment took really just meh. It took away from the women's chamber match. I mean, I thought it stole thunder from Asuka's moment at Royal Rumble. And then they switched up where Asuka's going to be doing, what's her name? Charlotte Flair, which is good because the SmackDown women's division is just kind of atrocious right now. To the point where there's so little going on that every feud is a 3 or 6 person feud. So having somebody like Asuka on there to kind of bring a little notoriety and somebody that's more concrete. I mean, you have Charlotte and then you have a bunch of the B squad. They haven't known what to do with Becky Lynch. Naomi's okay. You have Crazy Cat Lady and the wannabe Absolution with the Riot Squad. And don't get me wrong, Ruby Riot is fantastic. I actually think their squad might be a little better than the one on Raw. But Paige is a household name, and they've booked Absolution a bit better overall. So I think Asuka doing her match with Charlotte will be good. Asuka's clearly going to win because they're not going to break her streak at Mania. She may lose her streak next year at Mania because I still think eventually Rousey and her are going to wrestle. And because they like pushing celebrities through the freaking moon, they're going to put the belt on Rousey at some point. But yeah, Elimination Chamber, not so much. That match between Asuka, that's what I was trying to get to, between Asuka and Nia Jax sucked. The women's match was actually pretty good. Kudos to them. I felt like it was better style than the Rumble match. But the Rumble match wasn't bad. It was just, if you remember my video, my complaint was just that the women kind of rolled out of the ring constantly because they didn't know what to do. Whereas the Chamber match, you're down on the ground because you got body slammed or whatever. It makes sense to kind of roll out of the ring or catch your breath. It flowed better. Give women time. The next women's Rumble match, because I'm assuming and hoping they keep doing it, will be much better. So I'm not doubting the growth there. The women have been excellent in every opportunity they've been given. I'm enjoying the women's revolution that we've had. It's nice to see that this has come a long way from the Diva Search and all that god-awful nonsense that we had in the late 90s and early 2000s. So, yay. But one thing was, I think it was Alexa Bliss did a moonsault off the top of... And the men had a moment with the same damn thing. Both the Elimination Chamber matches had a moment where they dove off the top of the chamber pod. And Sasha Banks no-sold that. And I personally don't get the huge appeal of Sasha. Maybe it's because they've had her with Bayley, and they've... if you've seen my videos, if not, they're on the channel. Go ahead and watch my old stuff. They ruined Bayley months ago. I said it after the pay-per-view match. I was like, I can't take her seriously, and you haven't done anything to make me take her seriously. I have no interest in this feud between Sasha and Bayley, because I don't understand the appeal of Sasha. You put the belt on her 4 times only to take it off her the next day. I'm as confident and believable with her as being champion of anything as I am with Zack Ryder being champion of anything. I know it's just a temporary situation. But damn, how do you no-sell something like that? It was stupid. And again, Alexa ended up winning, so cool, because you knew they weren't taking the belt off her yet. And we'll get to that, because they've successfully built up Nia Jax as a babyface, and I'm happy to see that, because I think she's also a very good athlete. And if you follow her at all on social media, she's a cool person. She's dealt with a lot of being a heavy-set woman and all that stuff. And again, I'm not saying, I'm not an anti-fat shaming. I know I'm a fat ass. So if somebody wants to call me a fat ass, I'm not going to get triggered and all that stuff. It comes with the territory. But Nia has overcome a lot of the stereotypes in the WWE. If being a supermodel first and actually talented second, Nia's broken some barriers there, which is nice. And again, there's other women that have done that. Beth Phoenix wasn't exactly somebody that most people would say was super attractive looking. Because let's be honest, a lot of the female bodybuilders, unless you're into that kind of a figure, kind of don't always look the most attractive. Guys traditionally, and again, traditionally, this is a stereotype, doesn't apply to everybody, so don't get your panties in a bunch. Guys stereotypically like more feminine features, so it's a little awkward when you get people like Beth Phoenix and Chyna. Rest in peace, where they were more jacked. So I mean, it's not like the physique of the petite, big boobed female was never shattered before, but this has been big with Nia, and I'm happy to see it, and I'm all in her corner, all for her, especially now that it's not going to be her and Asuka, because sorry, Asuka first. Plus, I'm looking forward to when Kairi Sane eventually ends up on the main roster, and I'm assuming they're going to put her in a feud with Asuka, because I think it would be entertaining. But I think we got a while before they're going to bring her up. But I'm not doing NXT predictions, because as much as I'm going to watch the next TakeOver the day before Mania, because NXT has become must-see TV, I haven't had the time with my class schedule and other life events going on to catch a lot of NXT, so I don't think it'd be fair for me to kind of try to do a preview. I want to, going into this coming year, so after the 1 year anniversary of this channel, I want to talk about NXT a little more. I'm trying to figure out how to do this podcast, or this vlogcast, whatever you want to call it. I don't want to just do pay-per-view reviews, but it is hard for me, because it's just me at the moment, to do weekly reviews, just because of my time schedule. As I've said before, I'm a full-time student finishing my comm degree. Maybe one day, if things go the way I want, I could be doing this on here on the WWE, Ring of Honor, or wherever. I kind of wouldn't mind the opportunity, because I do want to move to Japan, at least short term, if not long term. If New Japan Pro Wrestling wants to kind of do a thing, at least on the West Coast, or have a permanent presence in America, if they need English-speaking announcers, hey, I'm your guy. Personally, I want to be a wrestling manager, which is kind of why I came up with the I'm the social pariah. I even have a whole nother shtick, and I may share that with you guys at some point. But I think it would be fun. And I've, as a child, have had a passion for wrestling. I'm toned down here because I don't want to pull out my microphone or my speakers, and I'm kind of limited in my set. But it's all good. But I also just want to have fun. So, derailing long enough here. I don't want this to be a 45-minute video with me not talking about anything. Trying to avoid that. But, so, yeah, Elimination Chamber was meh. The other pay-per-view on Smackdown was better, but, not great, but better is better. So, neither pay-per-view were really all that good that really warranted me doing a video. I'm happy that they're doing less, single-branded, or doing more dual-branded pay-per-views in 2018 after WrestleMania. I mean, obviously after Mania, we'll probably have in May a Superstar shakeup. And then I know in May and going forward, they're going to have just the... they probably will still do a few single-brand pay-per-views. But they've already announced, because of budgetary concerns and the fact the ratings are down because they don't know how to book, they're going to do more dual-branded pay-per-views, which makes my life easier as a content producer and as a fan, because 4 or 5 hour pay-per-views and the matches are not as good as just an episode of Raw or SmackDown. That kind of sucks. I'd rather these pay-per-views be bigger and mean something more. So this should be nice. But anyways, let's go into Mania. So the big one, and I wanted to just even talk about this, was part of why I wanted to make this video. I am 110% behind what's going on with the Broken Hardy deal. Just Matt's character in general. but more so with what's going on with Matt and Bray. The final deletion, or is it Ultimate Deletion? I forgot what they called it. Ultimate Deletion, because Final Deletion was on TNA. If you haven't seen Final Deletion, Ultimate Deletion may not make as much sense to you. Go watch the one from TNA, because it just kind of shows you where all this stuff originated. But I loved it. I absolutely loved everything about it. I've been an advocate for doing something with Bray for a while. And if you, on my other videos here and during their feud, I've been pleading for a team up between a Woken, Matt Hardy, I gotta remember it's Woken, not Broken, and a Woken Bray Wyatt type character since the day these two laid eyes on each other. Because Bray has needed a character revamp desperately. Because, again, bad booking. And to be fair, even Bray supposedly has been trying to get his character changed. These have been rumors I've been reading. I haven't confirmed. So, yeah, I'm 100% behind that. Now, the only thing they got going on with Matt right now is he's supposed to be in the Andre the Giant Battle Royale at the WrestleMania. And I have a hunch he's going to win, but I think it's going to be a very... you're going to see kind of if Bray shows up. You're either going to have Bray or Brother Nero show up to help Matt win. So either Bray's going to come out, act like he's going to turn on Matt, do some delete thing, and then just help Matt win, or Brother Nero is going to come out, make his Brother Nero character known, and help Matt. I think going into the latter half of 2018, we're going to see more and more of this Woken Universe stuff manifest. WWE dropped the ball by going way too slow with all this from the get-go, but it looks like they're at least on board. Even to the point where they got Mike... And again, I think this was Vince being a little hesitant, because typically Michael Cole just says whatever's being said directly into his earpiece, because it's kind of how their thing works. He ragged and apologized for what they're about to show when they showed the Ultimate Deletion. And a lot of people weren't sure if it was Vince kind of hating on it, and it could have been. But Matt commented on Twitter, so I think this is all a work. But yeah, I'm 110% want to see Bray as part of the Woken universe. I know people are like, let's bring back Husky Harris. Shut up. Just stop. He became Bray because Husky Harris was a joke. I mean, I'd rather see IRS Jr. than Husky Harris. But yeah, we've got a lot of potential here with the Wyatt stuff going on. Now, obviously, Bray's not going to be on TV until Mania, possibly after Mania if they don't pull the trigger yet. Because honestly, the longer they go, I think the more over it'll work when they eventually do have him come back out as part of the Woken universe, or is it just a different character? What you can't do, WWE, is Tensai. You can't have Albert come out as a fake Japanese samurai, take his helmet off, and look exactly as he did when he was in the WWE 2 years prior. Because immediately everybody was like, oh, it's Albert. We're not calling him Tensai. You can't pull that crap. Okay? Just don't do something that stupid. And my God, Wrestle with Regret, Ryan Zane put a great video together of just like the worst gimmicks for Albert. That poor dude. Go on his channel, check him out. I'm not partnered with him. I haven't met the guy or haven't had a chance to talk to him. Someday. So, I'm not, it's not like I'm being paid to give a plug. I watch a lot of other wrestling YouTubers and stuff like that in general, just for ideas and just to kind of see where the trends are and make sure I'm on the same page. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff to get to on WrestleMania here, and I want to keep this video short. It's the holiday weekend, so I want to get things going here. But then I want to kind of get through my WrestleMania stuff and then close out just talking a little bit more about where the channel's going here in the next year. But so again, Lesnar and Reigns at WrestleMania. I started this show talking about that. Obviously, Reigns is winning. Hey, I'm not spitting that all over my equipment, okay? This stuff's expensive. But damn, no, but I don't. Even if you are a Reigns fan, do you honestly feel like any of this was earned? Like what they got going on Raw right now has been kind of fun, but it's only been fun because it's the opposite reaction you've been trying to get out of the fans. When Kurt Angle suspended Roman, it was supposed to be the fans rallying behind Roman. When Roman was suspended, the crowd erupted in cheers. to the point where you can hear Kevin Dunn doing the let's mute the audio thing. When Brock came out and beat the hell out of Roman, the crowd cheered. Nobody popped for Brock when he first came out, which tells you people are tired of him too. And I think more of that is because everybody thought Braun should be the guy to take Brock down, and I will, till I'm proven otherwise, insist that it should have been Braun and Brock at Mania. God, their names are so alike. I get fumble on them when I try to say them. I don't like this match, but Roman's going to win. I don't know what they're doing after Mania, to be honest. It can be any of 20 different things. I'm going to talk about... I know Braun has his match, so we'll get to that in a moment here, but I don't think the match is going to go the way I would like it to, simply because of what they're advertising at the greatest Rumble ever in Saudi Arabia, and I think it's May. But yeah, they got a big international pay-per-view, and I'll just spoil it now. They advertise the Hardy Boys taking on the Bar for the tag team titles. So unless they just kind of book things ahead of time, and obviously all bookings are subject to change based on injuries and things like that. Kind of like the heel turn for Dean Ambrose obviously didn't happen yet because of the injury. So it could be Braun and whoever his partner is versus the Hardys or some other tag team. So I don't know, but again, it sounds like you spoiled some results, but again, this stuff's booked ahead of time, so all cards are subject to change. But yeah, so Roman's going to win because this is going to be the 4th year in a row, their 4th failed attempt at making Roman the guy. I'm hoping when this doesn't work, stop. He's a great mid-carder, and Roman could be a fantastic heel. He is not your next John Cena. He is not your next babyface go-to guy. He's not a Hogan. He's not a Cena. He's not a Bret Hart. He's none of these guys you're trying to make him be. Well, maybe he's a Bret Hart as in you're, poorly booking him, but... But when this fails, can we be done, WWE? Like, unless you get Roman off TV for a few weeks, have him come back as just a pissed-off heel. Because him as a heel that just turns on the fans and turns on the establishment would work. I mean, hell, John Cena's been heelish with his Undertaker stuff, and it's made Cena more relatable and down-to-earth and likable now than he's ever been at any point in the last 10 years. So, yeah, obviously, Roman's going to win. It should be Braun. Again, I jumped past it for time's sake, but that Elimination Chamber match... That was Braun's coming out party when he eliminated literally everyone. And again, Roman, it took a lot from Roman to beat him, but it was absolute bullshit that Roman beat him. But we knew it was coming. It was just so predictable, which kind of just shit on the match. But yeah. So, Brock and Roman, it's going to be Roman. AJ Styles and Shinsuke should be a 5-star match. This should be an Omega Okada kind of match. Obviously, different wrestling styles. WWE doesn't do as they don't do the strong style thing quite like Japan does. So Japan's New Japan is specifically, it's got a little more they allow the guys to do. I think this match will be flashier. I think Shinsuke is going to come out on top because AJ's on the top. I don't think he needs the belt to really be established. Whereas I think Shinsuke, they want him as the main event guy. I think the belt would help solidify with those that are doubting. But yeah, I think it's going to be a really good match. It's going to be a lot of back and forth. It's going to be Shinsuke getting the win. I think these two, when the match is over, will both be, whoever wins. So in this case, I believe it's going to be Shinsuke. Will pick up AJ afterwards. They'll shake. They'll raise each other's hands. I think this is just going to be a very classy babyface match. The only thing I could think of that it may change is if they throw a Bullet Club, or the club thing with... AJ, Gallows, and Anderson again. I hope they don't do that. That ran its course. You didn't book it well. It didn't work. Have the Balor Club instead. But, next up. So I'll go over the 2 family matches. And by family, I mean insert whichever McMahon you want here match. Rousey and Angle versus Stephanie and Triple H. I honestly don't know who's going to win this match. I'm going to give a prediction. I think Rousey and Angle will win. Rousey's the new toy, the new shiny object to get casual fans and non-fans involved. But so I think they're going to eventually put her over. What'll happen is Kurt and Triple H will just take each other out of the match, and eventually Rousey's just going to get her hands on Stephanie and do a suplex or some kind of submission hold to her and make her tap. I could see shenanigans where there's a DQ finish, and for Rousey and Angle to win. So I can actually, I think now that I'm thinking about it, I think that's what we're going to have. I don't think we'll have a clean finish. I think what's going to happen here is just Rousey and Angle are going to end up getting, either cheated out of a win, so if they do lose, it won't be a clean loss, but they're not going to get a clean win either. I think Triple H will grab his trusty sledgehammer, somebody will cheat, do something, get caught, get disqualified, and match over. But either way, I think it's going to be Angle and Rousey with the win. And then the other family match, which I don't think is going to end up being this match, is Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Yes, you heard me right. If you haven't been paying attention, Daniel Bryan was finally cleared just in time for Mania. I am happy as a clam for that match. Why I say I don't think this match is going to happen the way it's been advertised is Shane right now is being treated for diverticulitis and an umbilical hernia. So diverticulitis is an infection in the intestines and colon in that area. They're actually little like polyps or bumps in your intestines that are called diverticuli. When they become inflamed and infected, that becomes diverticulitis. I've had ulcers and things like that, so I've been through all the being the meat pinata with the camera and all that a few years ago. So I learned these words. So I kind of understand what's going on with Shane. Once they clean the infection out, they got to go in and do something with that umbilical hernia. Now, I'm not quite sure what an umbilical hernia is, so I can't really give you any amateur medical advice on that. But hernia. So I don't think Shane's going to be medically cleared, let alone physically ready to wrestle at WrestleMania. So what I think's going to happen is either a surprise partner, but what I think's more likely going to happen is it's just going to be a 2-on-1 or a triple threat match. So they have a week here to kind of figure out what they need to do to make this match happen. And I want to see Daniel Bryan come out and announce his partner for WrestleMania is El Generico, which, if you don't know, is Sami Zayn with a luchador mask on, and just confuse the hell out of Kevin and Sami. It don't lead up to anything. Just have Kevin look at Sami like, bro, what the hell's going on? And just mess with them so they turn on each other, and then it just becomes kind of a triple threat match at Mania. Let Daniel play some mind games. Either way, this will be a good match. I don't know if they'll put Daniel over. I don't even know if he's going to renew his contract when it's up. But now that he can wrestle, he may. I know I didn't watch a lot when Daniel was in his heyday. I don't want to see him immediately put in the title picture. Like, do a slow build, make sure he's still good to go, protect him a bit, and then, give him a few matches, a couple big pay-per-view spots. If he doesn't get hurt and he's fine, go all out. I don't know if he'd work on Smackdown, but who knows? I would like to see him in the... Oh, God, yes. Oh, my goodness. Him and The Miz need to be in a feud. So expect either Daniel on Raw or The Miz on SmackDown after next shakeup. Because with The Miz stealing Daniel's yes chant and the kicks and everything, oh, my goodness, that would be an awesome feud. Because Miz is awesome. Because I think The Miz is dropping the belt, and I think it's going to be Finn Balor that's going to get it. I don't think they're ready or trusting his health to put the main title on him, the Universal title. So I think this will be a test run. I have a hunch at some point Gallows and Anderson will come out and we'll have an official forming of the Balor Club. So I'll get to that match. So I'm skipping around based on the card I'm reading. And these are just the matches that have been announced already. So there's some that will probably come up this week on both shows. So who knows? But, I think Owens and Zayn will end up winning their match against Daniel Bryan. Just because I think it'll, as much as fantasy booking, and I can sit here for hours and kind of come up with scenarios, Shane's not going to be medically cleared. Unless this is all a work. It's been reported it's not a work. And so I don't think Shane will be cleared. So unless they really pull a surprise tag team partner out of thin air, this will be a 2-on-1. So we have Tuesday, like I said, to figure out if we can turn this into a triple threat match to even things out, but I think it'll be Owens and Zayn. Daniel will look really good. He'll get over with the crowd. It'll be a great launching point for Daniel. And besides, he's used to losing at WrestleMania. Sorry. Rim shot there. I'm sorry, WWE fans and Daniel Bryan fans. I know this thing. They've not treated him well over the years. But let's get to the women's matches. This one's weird. I 100% believe that Charlotte is going to lose to Asuka. Charlotte's no longer the draw, the main attraction that she was, namely because she's not really a heel anymore. In the traditional sense, she's kind of an in-betweener. She's got Randy Orton syndrome. She can't in-between. She's boring. And you may disagree with me, and that's fine. It's my channel. My show. But Randy Orton is the most boring person when he's in babyface or an in-betweener. He's only really good when he's a heel. And even then, that's a very quoted good, because I'm just not a big fan of him. His wrestling talent's fine. He's boring. Charlotte's a great wrestler. I can't take anything away. But I don't think she's really garnering the attention, and maybe it's the way they're booking her. She's not getting over the women's division, I think, the way they anticipated on SmackDown. So I think Asuka's going to get the title just because it's Asuka. They're going to keep building up on this undefeated streak and make when she finally loses being a big deal, either whether it's to Charlotte next year at Mania or sometime later this year at a pay-per-view, or when they bring up the next big name from NXT or some kind of, free agent signing. So we'll see, but this one I'm 100% sure Asuka's going to win. Now the other one, Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax. I want Nia to win. I want Nia with the belt because I think Nia is an unstoppable monster, would be a great rivalry for Ronda. But just something tells me, Asuka. Alexa's going to win. I don't know why. I got this feeling something's going to happen and Alexa's going to maintain her title. I think she is a great cowardly heel. She's the female Miz. So she's doing a lot more for that Raw Women's Championship than Charlotte is right now for the SmackDown Women's. So Asuka, damn it. Alexa's not going anywhere. So after Mania, Asuka and Alexa will be champions. I do think Alexa will drop it eventually to Nia. I just think they're going to use WrestleMania really as the starting point of this feud. They're doing it on Raw now. You had that stupid segment a couple weeks ago where she was, shit-talking Nia and, of course, not noticing the camera and the microphone right there. I wish they would stop those segments. Like, there's other ways to do it. Have, another woman in the locker room be like, I got you on my cell phone type of thing. Which is still not believable because the high quality that we'd be seeing it from, but at least from a storytelling standpoint, it comes off better than the, hi, I'm here for my interview. Oh, yeah, you weren't here, so I left my equipment set up on recording. Because that doesn't work that way. But it's a show. Like Mystery Science Theater 3000, just repeat to yourself, it's just a show, I should really just relax. So I'm not going to go too crazy on that, but they've got the momentum building between Nia Jax and Alexa. I just don't think they're going to do the blow-off at Mania. I think this feud's going to carry further, possibly to SummerSlam, and that's when you'll see Nia Jax finally just get Alexa alone and take the title. My hunch is you're going to have Mickie James come out and just cross Nia or just shenanigans. It won't be a clean win. Whereas I think Asuka will have a clean win. I think the two of them, Asuka and Charlotte, will put on a hell of a show. So I think that's going to be a great match between the two of them, similar to how I think AJ and Shinsuke will put on a great match. And even, like I said, Braun should be Braun versus Brock. But Brock and Roman will be a good match for as good as the two of them do. But circling back to Alexa and Nia, it's not going to be Nia's night, unfortunately. But when she does get that belt, it's going to be a moment the crowd will be behind. So, and I mentioned both The Miz and Finn before, and I kind of mentioned this result, so I'll skim over this. The Intercontinental title, Finn's going to win. My hunch here is going to be that the Balor Club becomes official. And they help Finn win. Seth doesn't really need the IC title. It's just a lot of they don't know what to do with Seth. Finn, they trusted enough and thought highly enough of to make him the first ever Universal Champion, but because of injuries, they haven't really done anything with him. He needs the title. Miz doesn't. Miz has transcended the IC title. And I still think we're going to see Miz and Daniel Bryan in a feud after Mania somehow. My guess will be after a Superstar shakeup, and the two of them would put on a hell of a package together. So that's going to be a fun one. United States Champion, and this is now a 4-way. It was a triple threat. Well, it was a one-on-one rematch, then it became a triple threat. It's Randy Orton, Bobby Roode, Jinder Mahal, and Rusev. Just because I want him to be the champion, I'm picking Rusev. Because Rusev Day is the most over damn thing on the SmackDown side, whereas Braun is the most over thing, period. But obviously Braun's the most over on Raw. Rusev Day is over as hell on SmackDown. Bobby Roode, I don't think they know what to do with yet. Orton, there's no benefit for him maintaining the title. They got him as Grand Slam. Jinder, you tried putting a belt on him. It didn't work. But it's going to be Jinder or Rusev in all honesty, but I'm going to go with Rusev because Rusev Day is over. This is a good way to placate the fans and really give Rusev an opportunity to do something. I don't think Aiden English is going to help because Aiden English is a glorified jobber right now on SmackDown, so I think he'll be involved, but I don't think it's going to win the match for Rusev, but I think at the end of the day, Rusev's going to end up winning this match. And now, this is going to be the fun one, so let me take a sip. We're down to the tag team matches. I'm going to get the Raw one out of the way first because this one's quicker. Based on what I've seen with the Saudi Arabian pay-per-view, I think the Bar is going to win. I want Braun with no partner to win because it just makes Braun look like an even bigger badass. Braun is being built up and is getting over with the fans to be like... And I said this to a friend, and they looked at me like I had 3 heads. I said he's being built up to be like the next Undertaker. I don't mean gimmick and the undefeated streak and all that stuff. I mean just as your giant dude that's over as hell and you don't know who can actually beat him. There were periods of times early in Undertaker's career that he didn't lose. I'm not even talking about Mania, he just didn't lose. And it was a big deal when somebody took him down in a pay-per-view match. And they were a hell of a match because it took everything in the kitchen sink to beat him. This is what Braun's going to be. He's over, the crowd likes him, he's honestly not bad on the mic. He's got a little bit to go there. He's funny as hell with props. The night when he did when Elias is doing the guitar and Braun came out with the giant bass. Clearly fake because if you actually had one that big in real life, they're heavy as hell. But he picks it up and slams it over Elias's head like freaking Bam Bam from the Flintstones. That was great. Braun's over. This would just put him more over. But I think they're going to give him a partner to eat the pin. Rumors right now are Rey Mysterio. I'm going to say that's not happening. I've also heard, the hell is it? Ellsworth. Not happening. That would be funny, though, because I just would like to see Braun pick up Ellsworth and swing him at the other two. But I don't know whoever it's going to be. I'm leaning towards Big Cass. Like, I'm leaning towards an injury return. And I haven't seen if Cass or Samoa Joe have been cleared. But I could see it also if it is Rey Mysterio. It wouldn't be a short-term deal, so it could be a one-day thing. But it's going to be the Bar beating whoever's whoever's Braun's partner. That would be interesting. I don't want to see it, but it would be interesting if we wound up having a Roman and Braun as a tag team at some point. Because I think the only way to really get Roman semi-over is to just pair him up with somebody the crowd loves enough that they'll overlook the fact they hate Roman. But it's the Bar's going to win. I would be happy as hell to be wrong in this situation, but the Bar's going to retain. Now, the one where I think they're going to go different, because just how awesome this feud has been built up, if I said in my last video that the Bludgeon Brothers were going to be a serious, credible threat, you would have laughed at me and just unsubscribed and turned off the video. But holy damn, if you've watched SmackDown in the last couple of weeks, the Bludgeon Brothers have been impressive. Now, okay, they're rubber mallets. We all know that. But same thing with Triple H's Sledgehammer. But watching these guys swing at him and just trying to take the heads off of Jimmy Uso and Big E, damn, it's just old school giant heel wrestling. I like it. They feel like hosses, except with a little more of a moveset. So, the Smackdown Championship is the Usos, the New Day, and the Bludgeon Brothers. I think the Bludgeon Brothers are walking away with the belts here. The New Day needs something to do. They don't need the belts. They just need something to do. And I think the Usos are amazing as heels, so I'm cool if they retain. But I honestly just think with how everything's being built up, it's going to be the Bludgeon Brothers. And then it's going to be a series of SmackDown matches and pay-per-view matches with the Usos and the New Day taking turns trying to dethrone the Bludgeon Brothers. And I have a hunch, too, that either the New Day or the Usos will wind up on the other brand after the shakeup. So, I think more so possibly the Usos, because I think SmackDown benefits more from having the New Day, because just the name. But, and there's not a lot going on in the tag team division, if we're honest, on Raw. But, so yeah, it's going to be a good match. I don't care who wins, in all honesty, because the three have just been a fantastic feud. It's been a hell of a lot of fun to watch. But it's going to be to me, it's going to be the Bludgeon Brothers coming down with that victory. Cruiserweight Championship, which to me used to be the Who Cares. Because last year, the match kind of sucked, and you can hate me for that all you want. I just didn't get the appeal of Neville, especially as a heel, because he was just he was boring personality, and he wrestled more entertainingly as a face, but he is a very good tactical wrestler. And then he had Austin Aries, who ended up leaving a couple months later. So, I mean, that match sucked the last WrestleMania, whether you want to accept that or not. And again, that's my opinion, so take it with a grain of salt. But this Cruiserweight match, which is supposed to be on the main card, is the finale of a tournament to determine a new champion after Enzo got fired. Yay. And I mean, I don't know if he's guilty or not. So if he's not, I'm hoping he goes after this person, because she just ruined his career. Sort of. Enzo's about 75% responsible, maybe 50% responsible for ruining his own career, because he didn't report the issue to the WWE. And just from different reports, he was an asshole in the locker room. So, and he was annoying. Like, when he had Big Cass with him, at least it was the joke of the jaw, the jaw and the claw, whatever you want to use. Mouth and a muscle. So, when he was on his own, and I actually liked watching the Cruiserweight division with Enzo, because he was entertaining. But there was just a point where it's like, shut up. So, it's not so bad. But it's Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa Ali. Both are fantastic. Just for a fresh take, I'm going with Mustafa Ali. I've liked him from day one. I hope he gets the belt. I still want Jack Gallagher at some point to be the champion. But, hey, supposedly at some point they're going to introduce Cruiserweight tag titles, is a rumor I read, which would be awesome. Just give 205 Live something with a little more meaning. But yeah, if you haven't watched 205 Live lately, watch it. It's a hell of a lot better now. And then the other two matches, and I kind of already given my thought on this one, and I'll cover Undertaker, Cena, too. But you have the Andre the Giant Battle Royale, and then you also have the formerly named after a potentially sexual predator Women's Battle Royale. Yeah, for those of you who don't understand what was going on, Fabulous Moolah has been accused in recent years of whoring out female wrestlers to the male wrestlers, as well as males in general. Sorry, I don't want to throw male wrestlers or anybody under the bus. She was a pimp, supposedly. These are all rumors. These are all accusations. She's dead, so there's no defense there. But there's a lot of nasty reputation to her. So fans were pissed. And they went to Snickers, and Snickers was like, hey, you need to change this or we're pulling our sponsorship. So it's just a women's battle royale. So, which is fine. There's enough other women you can name the battle royale after. I don't know who's going to win that, because I don't know who's in it. I think either Ruby Riott or Becky Lynch would possibly win, or they're going to showcase an NXT competitor. So, okay, here, I'll give my thought on the women's one. Ruby Riott. Who's the other one I said there? Becky Lynch. Don't think Carmella will be in there. I didn't even talk about it. I don't know when Carmella's going to cash in because honestly, I don't know. Neither match fits her cashing in, but I think she has to cash in at Mania. I'm not sure what the rules are. I don't know if it's by Mania or before the next Money in the Bank. But so yeah, Ruby Riott again. You know who I said. Sasha Banks, Ruby Riott, or not Sasha, Becky Lynch, or Ruby Riott, or I could see Kairi Sane or Ember Moon making a NXT show and winning. On the men, it's going to be Woken Matt Hardy. I just think that's the next evolution for his character, or next way to push him. And like I said earlier, I think a Woken Bray or a Brother Nero will show up to help. And then the other match we have potentially, because even though it's not official yet, is John Cena versus The Undertaker. What culture is insisting that it's going to be the American Badass and not the Good Undertaker? Which would be interesting, because there's a way storyline-wise for The Undertaker to come out and go, hey, The Undertaker, is old and retired and can't wrestle, but the American Badass is ready to kick your ass. That type of thing. But I don't want that. I want Undertaker's, we all know and love him, the dead man, that whole shtick. He's gonna, if this match happens, which I'm 99.99999999999% sure it's going to, I gotta go with The Undertaker. I like this character where they're at with Cena right now, and I think he's taking off to do movies anyways. I think this should be a good way to kind of send him off where he's just left frustrated, and he comes back hungry and wounded, like a wounded animal, just looking for something, desperate, trying to, I want my final title. I can see him back by SummerSlam or Royal Rumble next year at the latest. I'm sorry, at the latest, but I would say SummerSlam or Survivor Series. Looking to get that was he ready to break Ric Flair's record? Which, okay, not for nothing, side trail. Not that I haven't done enough of these. When you're the booker, it's not as impressive that you're the 18-time champion. Because you know what? I can book myself to go out every other week and win as well. And I'm not knocking Flair. The dude's awesome. He's a legend. But these records are just kind of like, well, you're booked to win them. They just don't make sense to me. Like, okay, as a fan, I can still respect, because part of getting booked to win means you're getting over with the crowd. At least back in the day, now you're being booked to win because of merchandising and marketing opportunities. Jinder Mahal. Roman Reigns. Oh, excuse me. But, so the record thing isn't as big of a deal, but I think Cena, for everything he's done for the company, at least deserves it. Like him or hate him, the guy's done everything they've asked. Asked out of him. So he's going to lose. I think Taker, you can't have him lose 2 years in a row, and if you can have him lose 3 times now, it just kind of takes the mystique away. I mean, losing to Roman last year did, but that match was still good for what we got. But, so yeah, that's your WrestleMania. That was my road to WrestleMania. It's what I was expecting. I think it'll be a good show. And again, we still have to go-home show for both Raw and SmackDown this coming week, so there could be other matches added. I think this will be better than last year's WrestleMania, particularly if they don't end with Brock and Roman. They need to end with AJ and Shinsuke. Because Brock and Roman, no matter what's going to leave a sour taste in people's mouth, and then Shinsuke and AJ, as long as the match is good, no matter who wins, will give everybody a good match, and honestly, there's no reason it shouldn't be a 5-star match. But just that coming weekend, the 7th, you have the NXT TakeOver, which should be amazing. And then the 8th, obviously, is WrestleMania. So that's next weekend is going to be a hell of a weekend. So 7th and 8th will be great wrestling. I will obviously be doing a show reviewing WrestleMania. It's the big one. It's the big, granddaddy of them all. It's the Super Bowl of wrestling. I can't not review it. So it's going to be, at that point, my 1-year anniversary. As I said, I wanted to talk a little bit about where I'm going with the channel, and as I've hinted at, I want to do some gaming stuff. I'm in the process of setting up a Twitch. I have an account set up. I just have to kind of play with how to stream. So I'm going to do occasional Twitch streams. I want to do some more gaming-oriented stuff here on the channel as well. Just kind of like retrospectives. I've been wanting to do it for a long time on the console wars, because a lot of you that are younger weren't around for Sega versus Nintendo and the evolution of Mario and Sonic and how Nintendo won, and really how Nintendo saved gaming. But there's a lot of history and just fun stuff that I want to take a crack at and do some different things with. Another show that's on the back burner that will be coming out later in 2018 is what I've dubbed Riff and Run. I mentioned Mystery Science Theater 3000. I'm a huge fan. I would love to take some short animated cartoons, obviously animated, PSAs, and other small, short 10-minute videos, adding some commentary, making fun of what's going on. I think the first one I'm going to do later this year is going to be on PSAs. Public service announcements, for those of you that don't live in the States. You call them something else over in the UK, and I forgot what, but y'all have some insane ones in the UK, in Europe in general. Those are the ones I want to have fun with because they're, oh my goodness. So, but yeah, I got some other things on the works. I still am going to do great moments and bad gimmicks. I may change the name to just, maybe change how I was going to do it. I was going to kind of do it as a countdown, but I think I'm going to go away from that and just as I come across really stupid moments in wrestling history, maybe that'll be a better name for it. I'm going to do them. I'm obviously going to do the Toxic Turtles as my first one in the next few weeks. And then I'm going to do Macho Warrior Rick Hogan. Yeah, you heard that correctly. It's just amazing. It's the setup, and then the payoff's nothing like the setup. So it's just great. But yeah, I'm glad to put up a video. As I mentioned on Twitter, I've been dealing with some medical stuff, namely fighting with insurance, medical incompetence. I'm a doctor, and I'm okay. I've just been going through a lot with class and a lot with dealing with medical stuff over the last month or so, so I haven't really had time or the energy to put a video together. But I want to keep things going, so I wanted to put a video up here for you today. So thank you for watching. I'm your host, Alan, and in case you haven't heard, I always, and I mean always, have the last word.